Yep, you read that title right, and I'm gonna double down on it right now. Not only is Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 the worst out of all of the Poppy Playtime chapters, but it might just be the worst horror game I've personally ever played. And that sounds like a huge thing to say, but trust me, it's a big thing for me to say, considering Poppy Playtime is my favorite out of all of the mascot horror games I played, and probably my favorite horror game franchise as a whole that I've ever played. So for me to say that one of the chapters is bad takes a lot, but chapter 4 is bad. Chapter 4 is one of the most broken, unscary things I have ever played in my life. So I'm gonna break it down for you super slowly, and we can all dissect this. So I'm not just out here saying I fucking hate it. I'm doing this for clout or whatever the fuck people will say in the comments. I'm gonna break everything down for you. So let's start off with performance. The Poppy Playtime has always been pretty accessible to people. I think the last Poppy Playtime we had was in 2023, 2024, around about like a year or two ago. And the recommendations were pretty good. I think it was something like an i5 and a 2060 RTX. So for the most part, most people will have those components in their computer or something a little bit lower than that. Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. Oh, no, you need a fucking supercomputer to play this shit because you need an i9, and it's not the biggest thing in the world to have, but it is still a pretty high-end tech piece to have. You also need an RTX 3090. And listen, I'm very well aware that my PC is slightly aged at the moment. I have a 2080 and a Ryzen 7. It is on the older side, but I still think an i9 and a 3090, most people don't have that, especially in the current economical crisis of the world. Not to sound like Jaden Smith right now, but people aren't doing very well for money. So those are two pieces that people aren't really gonna have, and that's for the recommended pieces that you need to have. So that already kind of blew me out the water. But I played everything on high or on epic, and apart from a few stutters over here and there, my computer played pretty well. So on that side of the performance, that's all right. But the performance I want to talk about, I really want to dig into, is how the game plays as a whole. There's a specific character I really want to dig into, and I mean really, because it is the most broken piece of AI slash character I have seen in any game ever, and that's Yarnaby. Coming into the game, Yarnaby was a character I was really excited to see because he looked terrifying and he looked really, really cool all at the same time. So I was like, oh, when am I going to see him? When am I going to see him? And from literally the first bit that I've seen him, he was broken. I would stand right up in front of him. I'm gonna see if I could get video or clips from my video that I made on the thing, but I don't know if I'm gonna have this out before my video, so I might not have any clips, but you can go on my main channel and see them if I don't add them onto this. But there were bits when I first saw him that I was standing right in fucking front of him, and he wouldn't react. I'd walk right across him, and he'd be like, "Oh, hey, I'm just looking for the intruder, by the way. You kind of look like him. Don't worry, I'm sure it's not you. I'm just gonna let you pass." What the fuck do you? VHS tape. I like. You have the peripheral vision of a fucking potato. How do you... Oh! You also have the memory of a fucking goldfish. How did you not... How did you not see me? Don't know what to do. Don't know what to do. Don't know what to do. Okay. What if I trap him in there? Why are you just letting me walk right by you? I don't understand that. And then on the other hand, there are times where I literally wouldn't move a fucking muscle and you'd be like, oh, you're there. You're there. I know you're fucking there. And I'm like, how do you know I'm there? I don't fucking understand this. And there were two specific levels actually. Well, they kind of joined into two because they were all the same area, I guess, but they were split up into two sections. But there's a section in the game where you have to kind of turn on these generators, put keys in certain places, and it gives you a cubby hole to hide in. So you go into this cubby hole and it's your safe space. No, it wasn't. Because the moment I go into that cubby hole, it's like it alerts him. It does the complete opposite of being a safe space. It tells him exactly where I am and it tells him to aggro on me. And it's also a space where he can attack. It's not even like I could stay in there and wait it out. He will attack me. And it only happened like, I don't know, only somewhere in the ballpark of 90% of the time. There were like a few minuscule amount of times where he would act like it should do and act like a safe haven for me. But for the most part, it was just broken. Every time I'd move in there, it would alert him that I was there. He'd go in, attack me, and I'd have to redo the whole level completely. Do this, collect you. Now hide in here. Cause he's a coming. Cause he's a coming. Wait, what? Oh, what is the actual point of those hiding spots? If anyone goes, oh, well, he was already aggroed on you. There he wasn't. He fucking really likes me in hiding spots, apparently. They must be feeding spots in my game, apparently. I just don't know where he is. Where are you? I need to walk by me so I know, like, it's safe to walk somewhere. I think he just doesn't like it when the weapons get weak. That's not down to me, dude. That is not... I'm just fighting him here. I'm just fighting him here. Like, he's just aggroed on me completely, and there's no way for me to fight this. What's he doing? What's he doing? What's he... Ah. I fucking hate that this fucking game is so broken. Now go here. Now go here. Now go here. And guess what? Guess what's gonna happen? He's just gonna come and fucking chew my ass off, right? Wait, what happened to half of your head? I don't know where he's going. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what's going on. Why did I get in here? Why did I fucking go in here? Why? This can't be fucking real, dude. How is that blatant fucking glitch a thing? And I thought that the level was just broken for me. So I went to check other people. And 8-Bit Ryan was safe. For the first section. The first section actually worked completely and exactly how it should do. But the second section was also broken for him. I'm going to show you a clip of it now.
There you go, there's another one. Let's explore this area here. I haven't seen Yarnaby still. I figured we might see them more, but maybe we will soon, right? Yet to be seen.
You see anything peculiar? You heard anything peculiar that he said? Sounds like, looks like a Barnaby should be there. Because he should. He was in there for me. He was in there for me, destroying my butthole for a whole hour. Because the game was broken. And for him, it was broken in the best possible way because he wasn't there. 8-Bit Ryan didn't get to experience the worst part of the whole game. The part that was the most broken out of the whole game. Because his game was also broken. His character didn't even fucking load in. And meanwhile, I was there for an hour trying to fucking find my way to be in this level. And I couldn't because his AI was so fucking janky the whole time. Then we get towards the end of the game or near the end of the game. And I'm going to try not to spoil it for people who haven't watched it. All the Yarnaby stuff I could say without spoiling it. You know there's going to be puzzles. You know he's going to start chasing you. But towards the end of the game, something else chases you. Let's just say that. And you need to attach yourself to this rope up top. The first time I jump off the map, which, listen, it happens. It shouldn't be there, but it happens. You know, a dev can't patch absolutely everything up for every little mistake that someone's going to make. So I end up falling off the map. I laugh about it. It happens, whatever. Second time I do it, I attach myself to the rope, and I almost float in midair. And then I see the creature that's after me, and he's just there trying to get me, trying to get me, trying to get me. And then he eventually finally gets me because I'm just trapped in the area. I can't absolutely do anything. So then I go on the zipline thing a third time. And I didn't even get to the end of the zipline because the zipline kicked me off. And guess what? I fell right down to the end of the map yet again. 3 times. 3 times that the game broke. First time, happens, whatever. 2 times that the game breaks, where it definitely 100% shouldn't happen. And then we go a bit further on into the game, and you are still being chased by this entity. And it's the final fight, the big final fight of this entity. And this entity, I don't know what to say to not spoil anything, but he grabs you. Let's just say, yeah, he grabs you and he's reeling you in towards him. And to fight it off, you can throw your flare at his face and he'll let you go. There was one time where I threw my flare at him and he wouldn't let me go. He just pushed me further back, but still keep reeling me in. And then I'd shoot again and then he'd reel me further back. And then whilst he's trying to reel me in, because the way the flare gun works is you have 5 bullets and then it'll refresh after like a certain period. Because I was shooting so much because he wouldn't let me go, I almost died because I ran out of flares. And at that point, I was like, this is really fucking bullshit. But luckily, I had just enough flares to like end the game off. But I was just like, that shouldn't happen. You should just let me go. Why are you still? You could literally see like the skin from him, or I don't know what it's called, the actual gaming term of it. You could see it stretching because it shouldn't be stretching that far out. And it was just so infuriating. The other thing that's, I think, really wrong with the game is the horror. And listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm afraid of nothing. I've got the biggest fucking balls ever. Like I bounce them like they're fucking space hoppers or anything. Like I'm not anything like that. In fact, I would be very comfortable in saying that I am probably the biggest scaredy cat out of any YouTuber on the platform. New, old, even YouTubers yet to come. I am afraid of everything. If you and me are in a room together and you pass gas, I'll probably let out a little shriek because I was fucking terrified by that noise. I get scared at absolutely anything. And I wasn't scared of the game. At the start of the game, like the first like half an hour, I was terrified, but I think that was just because of the expectations that came with playing the game. I was like, oh my god, I was really terrified of chapter 1, 2, and 3. What's this one gonna have? The trailer looks super scary. I was even scared the night before. I was like, oh, what if I have nightmares playing this game? No, half an hour after it came in, or half an hour after I already started the game, I think it might have been because of the bugs. I just wasn't scared. Yarnaby was not an issue for me because, again, either I was either frustrated at the level or he wasn't really tracking me or seeing me very well, so I could just walk by him sometimes and just be absolutely not afraid. The doctor was super fucking underwhelming. I was walking through that level like nothing was happening. You could have put you could have put a Green Day song in my ear, and that would have fit perfectly to that scenario because nothing was happening. I just had little bits of robots coming after me, but I wasn't scared. There was nothing to be scared about. They'd run after you. They wouldn't insta kill you, so there was no threat of imminent danger. They just kind of like slap you, give you a little slap, and you see the little red of the damage going around you. Nothing was happening. I was never scared. The doctor wasn't scary himself, nothing. And then going into the final boss, which I don't want to spoil because saying what it is would be a spoiler. He looked cool, but not scary. Again, nothing from the game was scary, and then they really hammered on putting the fucking critters in. There was like 3 sections with the critters in, and I don't know if you need to hear this, or if I need to hear this, or if this is common knowledge, but I'm gonna say out loud, I'm gonna shout it through the rooftops. The critters aren't scary. Any level with the critters in is just kind of like, oh, okay, I have to do this. You're not thinking, oh fuck, I have to fight the critters. I have to go through this level and I have to endure the critters running at me because no one's thinking that. No one is afraid of that. And they managed to put like 2 or 3 full levels of them. And no one cares. They are not terrifying. Again, I don't know where the game went wrong. Huggy Wuggy was terrifying. Mommy Longlegs, not so much. But there was the dog from that one level super fucking terrified. That whole level there was I've never felt fear like that since Huggy Wuggy and a few other characters in and amongst the horror games that I've played. Catnap was even scary. I didn't think it was the scariest creature of all time, but he was still scary. Miss Delight was one of the best horror scenes in all of Poppy Playtime. I really love Miss Delight. So many good things from every single one of the games, and you miss on all of them in this one. I don't know. Again, I don't want to put this against the game because it might just been my personal experience. I didn't feel horror at the game. Maybe other people might. You might absolutely shit yourself playing the game, but not me. And again, it's really weird me saying this because one, I love the series because of how scary it is, and two, I get scared of everything. But I didn't get scared at anything. There was nothing that posed a threat. Nothing that made me terrified. I had a few jump scares at the start, but they were like loud noises that were like in your face. It wasn't like a monster chasing me or nothing. It felt super fucking underwhelming the whole time I played the game. And then I just want to mention some other like little gameplay bits that don't really mean too much, but I do want to talk about. The final fight against the thing that I won't spoil, I thought that that wasn't the greatest final fight. It felt like a bit of a chore to do. Like it took you a little while to realize, okay, what do I have to do? Because the game doesn't explicitly tell you. You know, 1 and 2 go together, but you don't know how to put 1 and 2 together. You know these two things damage it or have the potential to damage it, but the game doesn't really tell you how to do it. I I'm not gonna lie to you. I had to look up a video of someone else playing it to know what to do, and I was like, oh, I would have never guessed to do that because I was doing something completely different to what I actually needed to do for that. And I would have been stuck there forever. And then puzzles. One of the big drawbacks from Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 was the puzzles were a bit too long or required a bit too much brain power. So I feel like they'd kind of zap you away from the game. This game kind of fixed that. There were still a few puzzles where I was like, okay, this takes a little bit more brain power. But the ones where they really put brain power in was when you had someone like Yarnaby coming after you, and it's like for the Yarnaby section, I'll bring this back up again because I really fucking hated that section. You needed to press this one specific lever and drag it down. But that one specific lever, I guess, was in through the door that you have to come in through. But I put the gamma up because this light right in front of me is super bright, so I have to be able to see. And even with the gamma up, it was still kind of hard to see because the lever is literally that big in the screen that you're looking at. So unless you walk like right up to it, you're probably not going to see it, especially like with this big fucking thing running after you or chasing you or something. Obviously, you're going to have your blood boiling, whatever. I didn't even have that. I wasn't even scared and I completely missed it. And listen, I'm an airhead. I will miss literally. I've gone into the fridge before looking for a slice of pizza. It's right in front of me and I will miss it. Like that's how bad of an airhead I am. And it happens. But I feel like it could have been made a little bit clearer. I don't know, especially with scenes like that where you're being chased by a monster. One of the things you want is clarity. You want to know, okay, I'm doing A, B, C, and D, but you want to have the fear of the monster coming after you. You don't want to have the fear of the monster coming after you and you being like, I'm lost. I don't know what I'm doing. I've been looking for this for so long and I don't know what I'm doing because it just gets very, very annoying. So yeah, for those of you who are saying, "Oh, you're only doing this for clout, you just want to be fucking different," I don't. I've sang the praises of every Poppy Playtime, and it does fucking suck to say this because it is my favorite horror game franchise. I love horror game mascots. I love the way the story is developing. I love almost every single character. I still love the way Yarnaby looks, but the way the game plays, there's a lot of glitches that they need to patch. The horror elements just weren't there for me. Even some of the characters that we met, like Poppy, sometimes it feels like they don't really know what direction they want to go with Poppy. Sometimes Poppy's like, "Oh, I'm going to be really helpful." Then there was a bit in chapter 2 or 3 where she kind of went a little bit methodical, and there's probably a reason for that that just completely went over my head. And then this chapter is kind of like, is she evil? Is she not? And it's not a sense of like, "Ooh, guest player." It almost feels more of a sense of, okay, the developers don't really know what they want to do with her. And then the game really tries to do this thing of like, feel bad for these characters. They've been suffering. They're struggling. But it doesn't really do a lot to do that. The only one character, which is Dowie, I keep forgetting his name. It's Dowie, yeah. He's one of the new characters you meet in the game. He's really, really good because there's a cool kind of twist at the end, kind of ish, and you really see like his character developing and going through a lot of things, and you really, really feel bad for him towards the end of it. And I'm really glad that he's a character in the game because he's super, super nice throughout the whole game. He's always constantly helping you. He has some like really deep traumatic backstory, and you feel bad for him. But then it's like, oh, hey, feel bad for these other guys. It's like you don't really add anything else to these other guys. Even Kissy Missy, it's like I feel bad for Kissy Missy because she looks adorable, we don't really have a backstory for Kissy Missy. Again, unless you really dig into like all of the VHSs, all of the notes, and even some other games that are on Poppy Playtime, the only characters I really care about are Dowie, me, some of the villains, maybe, just maybe Poppy. That's it. I don't know. It's sad. I do love the game. I do love the franchise. But this one just felt like a huge miss. And it does really make me sad to say this and have this out as a video. But I just really wanted to talk about it because it is a little bit of frustration because I was really expecting this game, or I was really excited and anticipating this game. I was even refreshing the Steam page. I was like, it needs to come out, not only because I need it out as a YouTube video, but I also just really wanted to play. I just looked like a fucking madman just pressing like F5 or the refresh thing on Steam, just being like, is it coming out? It was like 18 minutes late or 8 minutes late or something, but I was just like, and then the moment it was up, I was like, play, I want to fucking play this. But I just so disappointed, man. So disappointed by the game and how it came out, and it felt rushed. It felt super rushed. There's a lot of bugs in the game. Again, the Yarnaby one, the one that I had and 8-bit Ryan had. How do you miss that? I don't really understand how you missed that. I don't know. Anyway, I've rambled on for too much. This is probably like a 20-minute video. I only wanted it to be like 8 minutes saying what I disliked and liked about the game, but yeah, I hope I hit all the points, and I hope some of you agree with me. I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.